What happened last time on Weird and Wild?
Last episode of Weird and Wild. Hey guys, it's your favorite
Oh.
celestial warlock.
You're so quiet. You're like doing an ASMR video.
Yeah, Dad.
Do I need to make it louder?
There you go. That's better.
So, we were on a ship, the Star Wall, and Song Kong decided to become a celestial steed cowboy and ride out into the abyss known as the Twixt. And it was kind of scary, but he lived, and now we know where to go get celestial steeds when we're done. We ended up at the Eos Ruins, and there was a storm, but it wasn't actually a storm. I figured out that it was actually a terrasque, but when we got away from it, we saw that it was actually coming out of a portal, which is pretty bad. And so we ran to this graveyard, which all the stones, for some reason, have the same markings as this magical music box that I have. So I'm hoping that we can use Aedelwulf's help to help get this hero out of the music box and stop this terrasque.
Pretty good, pretty good. And Vita, you find a weird bit in your pocket.
Tasty.
Fascinating.
I believe everybody should have a inspiration card.
I believe so.
I think since the terrasque has a giant void for a head, it has 2 puddles.
Oh, Jesus. Slim.
So, yes, you guys last time had ended up making your way out of the dust and debris storm that had been brewing on the majority of the small planetoid hunk that makes up the Eos Ruins, finding out that the dust storm was kicked up by at least half of a terrasque, the bottom half, who had been kicking and throwing its tail around and destroying what was left in the ensuing chaos. You guys made your way through the darkened area, taking on some insectoid-like foes. I don't believe anyone identified them, but you guys were able to survive, and they seemed to retreat as the half of the terrasque approached. Unfortunately, Aesop got stepped on, but survived.
I got better.
You guys realizing that it seemed as though, at least in the midst of the dust storm, that the creature didn't seem aware of your presence necessarily as it stepped in between you. So you decided to push onward, hoping to head towards the headwind that was up north above you, and making your way out of the just large, kind of very difficult to see area. You guys have cleared that and now sort of see what you see in the image here. You still certainly hear the rambunctious stompings and crackling and collapsing of rock and debris in the distance, and you were able to catch the glimpse of the full bottom half of the terrasque as it cleared some of the smoke and soot, allowing you to at least see the monstrous feet and tail of the creature.
Why on earth is it like that?
A large, strange vortex that glows in a greenish teal color seems to almost bisect the creature at its abdomen level, just a black swirling mass in the center, leaving only its 2 large legs and whipping tail. As you guys were able to determine in the previous session, the creature does not have its top half and probably is missing a good amount of its senses, and thus the reason for its sort of chaotic just stomping and thrashing. Although with Invidi's 20, and I'm going to let that ride for quite a few things in terms of assessing the creature, you guys get the sense that even if it had its full senses, it would probably be throwing a very similar tantrum. You find yourselves, at least in the meantime, outside of the ensuing chaos, although you know not too far in the distance the creature is still out there. You find yourselves in an area of the Eos Ruins that is at least clear, giving you a vantage point over the nearby location that you're located in. This area seems... some of you make me like a nature check or something like that, like a perception or a nature check.
I'm gonna do a nature check. That's a 22.
Okay. Anybody else?
15.
What was that for?
Nature.
Okay.
Mine was also nature.
All right. Yeah, Sun Kong, you get this. Gloss, it was at a straight 12. 13, okay.
I got a straight 12 for you.
Yeah, Gloss, you get the sense that this area was... you see several sort of plateaus. There's a certain amount of elevation here stretching out across this kind of canyon-like area. There is some slight vegetation around, unlike the previous area, but there isn't a whole lot else that allows you to get a sense of the natural makeup of this area. Sun Kong and Aesop, you guys on the other hand, see vast pockets of areas that sort of shoot and jut out of rock. Though as you peer around, this plateau work and surrounding rock does not seem fully naturally made. It's almost as though perhaps looking back at the creature you just were able to successfully and luckily pass by, perhaps at some point stomped through here and created quite the bit of uneven ground here. There are areas of plateau that sort of shoot up and elevate above the kind of rocky terrain of the base level. On a lot of these sort of upraised areas, you do note some interesting looking rockwork that stands out of the ground, bearing similar markings of the same type of sort of etched square-like symbols that make up the makeup of the music box that is in Invidi's possession.
Oh, right. Maybe we should get a closer look at that music box. Actually, if I could make a recommendation, maybe we take a quick breather here after running for a while. I know we expended some of our resources just getting past that half terrasque.
Coming out of...
Oh, go ahead, son.
No, I was just gonna say, coming out of my binoid form, I am a bit exhausted, so I agree.
Just a quick hour or so, maybe we can get a closer look at that box. There's got to be a clue or something. I mean, we're still just rooting around in the dark here. We have no idea where to go.
Are there any, like, runes? Like, on this picture, are there any runes, like, similar to... Is there any, are there any runes on the box that we compare to, like, the outside surrounding area?
Make a... well, you can clearly see on the box that there is sort of this etched square-like symbols. It doesn't remind you, Glosse, of a particular language that seems familiar to you. But you're able to definitely take note that there seems to be a certain pattern that sort of runs across. You're not sure too much the significance of it, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can comprehend languages, so while we rest, can I comprehend the
Cut out there.
Yeah, you cut out.
I have Helma comprehend language. Can I use that while the party's rest to comprehend the runes on the box and the surrounding?
Can you read me exactly what comprehend languages does before you guys take this rest?
Okay, for the duration, you understand literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute to read a page of text. This spell doesn't decode secret messages in a text or glyph, such as an arcane sigil, that isn't part of a written language.
Okay. You feel like you could attempt it, however, you may have some difficulty seeing it, as the markings on this box remind you more of sort of like a rune-like or etched pattern than it does in actual language. But you feel like you could at least give it a shot.
Out of character, Sun Kong, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd like to see it when you're done.
Also,
yeah.
Jason, I think I need to heal. So can you like paste our tokens on the page?
I can do that, yes. Hang on just a second.
Oh,
Yes,
well.
one extra healing. Yes. Life is good.
Oh, God.
It's actually a healing ringtone instead of a song of rest.
Yeah.
As you guys are setting up to rest, you notice that Aedelwulf is kind of just peering around. He also looks back and says, yes, whatever you can do to figure out something about the music box. I am amiss as to where we should go next.
I do see some structures off in the distance, but there's several of them. No clues so far which one is the one we should explore first.
Oh, it's a music, but what kind of music does it play? Just out of curiosity.
I am unaware of what music it plays.
Oh.
I do know, however, that it was said that the legendary warrior contained within was a bard by trade.
Oh, that's like you, Glosse.
Is there a way we can wind it up or anything?
There is no conventional key.
Oh, what if we play music to it? I don't know.
I bet that the key to starting this music box is somewhere here on this planetoid.
Mm-mm.
You guys sort of where do you prop up at? Where do you try to take the rest at?
Maybe like I'm getting an echo.
Yeah,
that
there's
just me?
there's like a slight echo going on for someone here.
I've been feeling it too.
Hold on, talking. Well, now it's not happening.
I know. See, I thought the same thing. I thought I was going crazy, but there it is.
What the fuck? That was a really loud one. God damn it! Now it's not happening. Okay, I guess just next to like one of these standing stones.
What about? I mean, how the terrasque can't track us since it's in that like half of it's missing, right?
As far as we know.
Oh.
Where's the other half, though? Is what I want to know.
Oh.
Probably at a bar having a drink. I mean, I would if I was missing my bottom half.
I'm gonna extinguish my cane and spin another hit dice.
Is anyone keeping watch out as you guys rest?
I
I
think we
will.
all should take turns.
I mean, it's only an hour. God
Oh.
damn, that echo is killing me.
I'll keep watch. I'm pretty healthy.
All right. Good night.
Don't fall asleep. It's only an hour.
Whatever. Wake me up in an hour.
Okay.
You, Aesop, you and the others kind of spot yourself up to a set of stones that sort of just sit on the ground. Height-wise, they're elongated up. They do remind you of sort of tombstones. They have sort of etched symbol runes kind of on them. They are solid otherwise. And you guys kind of just take a rest here. And the relative silence and distance between you and the terrasque, although in the distance you can still hear the stepping and occasionally see the silhouette of the creature in the distance. Rinkaz, as everyone is resting...
Daddy, my token's not pasted.
Oh, fuck. One minute.
Am I still exhausted? And what's this? I don't remember what happened.
Oh, that's 2 inspiration points that I spent, but
Okay.
I think do you regain bardic inspiration on a short rest, or is it long rest?
Short rest.
Okay, well there you go.
Thank you.
Everyone... Oh, go ahead, Luke.
I was just gonna say, I think you need to go to sleep for exhaustion,
Like a full,
though.
yeah.
Long rest.
Like 8 hours.
Everyone covered in some amount of
Oh,
dust and debris as you kind of try to brush some of it off. Glace, I believe you're gleaming, what is it, like cloak?
The finest outfit in the room.
Okay, you sort of brandishing your gleaming outfit that kind of sits over top your armor has kept you relatively outside of the realm of getting too dirty, although the excursion before just trying to make your way through the dark and just sort of being assaulted by the rather large insectoid-like creatures has as well as getting a little bit of that debris and stuff, you know, it was not only difficult to see but also difficult to breathe, and just kind of inhaling some of the dust and stuff kicked up by the terrasque itself has left you slightly exhausted, so you have
Straight
a point of
acid
exhaustion.
Yeah.
Sun Kong, similarly, as soon as you find yourself out of damage, you can feel the third eye, the jewel of the bionoid that forms on your forehead has dissipated, and you feel the sensation of your chitinous armor sort of pull back and reform into sort of like your standard armor that sits on your shoulders and around your body. And you too feel slightly, somewhat exhausted, although you know that is just the standard when transforming and falling back. Rinkaz, if you would make me a perception check, please, as the others sort of take some time to rest up.
15 total.
You notice in the distance as 15 or 20 minutes into the rest that there looks to be a handful of what look like flying insect-like creatures in the distance that are slowly approaching your way.
Ooh.
I let everyone know that we got them coming in, and I try to crouch down just to cover myself a little bit.
Ooh, yes. Can we hide?
Oh, a good idea, I think.
Full stealth.
Let me see if I have anything for this.
10.
Well, how about one of these? And I'll roll mine.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I mean, that's still a 13 for
So
Aesop.
stealthy.
We're rolling stealth here.
Let me know what you guys got if you don't mind.
These rolls are not great.
Sun Kong, you can use a D8.
Yeah, I got a 12 total.
Of course, 12.
Total?
Yeah.
Oh, Jira.
Poor little one.
Let's see. Aesop 13, Glace 16, Nvidi 19, Rinkas 12, Sunkong 12.
So it seems like the only person who did not make it above a 10 would be Jira.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, does exhaustion mean I have to roll twice?
Oh yeah.
Ah.
God damn it.
Similarly, Sun Kong. Although, I mean,
Oh.
I'm sorry, Glase. I tried to roll good for you, but I didn't.
It's okay. I got an 11, so it's fine.
Still 12.
NVIDIA, as you peer around, you notice everyone has sort of taken either behind some of the stonework or has propped themselves in such a way that they have kind of hid themselves from this sort of approaching swarm of insect-like creatures in the distance. Jira, however, despite trying to do its best to hide, still appears like it is somewhat out in the open and would be spotted.
God damn it, Jira.
The insects are now approaching closer.
Oh no. What?
I don't think there's anything I can do here.
What about hypnotic pattern?
Isn't that all? Oh yeah, no, that would work.
I can like put these mosquito thingies or these insect. Can we have we identified this? Do we know what these are?
Nope, knowledge checks are free. Also, player knowledge, I'm pretty sure you can dismiss Jira.
That's what I was about to ask. Could I just temporarily dismiss him and then recall him once the threat passes? I think it's an action to resummon. Let me look here.
I mean, you can look around and everyone seems relatively stealthy. You're not sure if everyone is going to be able to avoid being spotted, but I would say you would at least know that Jira seems particularly out in the open.
Yeah, so
Just have him go into passive mode. Makes him invisible.
is that how that works?
That's a familiar thing. If you go into passive mode, you don't get any of the bonuses for him, but he's still active. He's just not out. So, like, he can't do stuff, but you don't have to resummon him.
Okay, because it would just be...
It's part of the spell. You can look at it.
Alright, yeah, because it was just as an action. While it's temporarily dismissed, I can cause it to reappear within 30.
Yep. That's what it's talking about.
Okay. Can I do that then?
Mm-hmm.
To roll to do that or anything? No, it's just an ability, right?
What's it look like as Jira dissipates?
It just Cheshire cats. Kind of like his body fades away and then the orbs are left and the orbs kind of fade out.
Sorry, Jason, go. I was just gonna say, if we get attacked, Aesop has a potion of fire breathing at the ready.
Ooh.
Hopefully scare him away.
You guys watch as Jira sort of out in the open more than any of you would like. Slowly, pieces of its body begin to just sort of shift and just dissipate. All of it disappearing except for the two sets of orbs that sort of almost just gravitate above its back, and then each one of those slowly disappearing into nothingness. You also, guys, notice that Aedelwulf and Ukog seem to be relatively stealthy as they're sort of prop themselves up behind a couple other tombstones nearby. You guys watch as the insect-like creatures sort of approach. They remind you to some degree of dragonflies with their large, bulbous, insect-like eyes and their long tails leading behind their abdomens, separate from a dragonfly, ending in a very sharp point. You can hear them making chittering sounds, and they fly by.
Ooh.
Leaving you unaccosted.
Oh. Did anyone get a close look at them? Are these like little bionoids, Sun Kong? What does the one inside of you say?
I kind of think to Roshi, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, Sanka, I have not.
Don't know.
Did you notice that those creatures in the wastes, they could see us despite, well, we were in the dust and hiding, but they made a beeline right to us. It's unusual, but when you're in your bionoid form, don't you also have similar abilities? Sight beyond sight.
Well, yeah, actually.
It's just interesting is all. Something to take note of.
Oh.
Anyway, what did you all learn about the music box?
With the threat of the patch of insect-like creatures passing by, you guys continue taking your rest. In the distance, you occasionally hear the collapsing of stonework. Aedelwulf looks a bit troubled and slightly antsy, but understands that one of you got stepped on by the terrasque and others had to fight off those insect-like creatures, so he sort of just taps his fingers at his sort of wand that he has and just sort of tries his best to wait.
I'm great. Cough up blood.
We didn't find anything out about the music box, did we? Other than that it needs a key and it doesn't... We can't open it, right?
Well, I told Sun Kong I'd let him borrow it when we were done, so...
Oh.
Hey, Sun Kong.
Hey, can I take a look at that now?
I don't think I can do anything with this anymore. It's your turn.
Alright, cool, thanks.
Please don't drop it.
I pretend to fumble with it, but then grab it.
Make a acrobatics check, Sun Kong.
Oh, thank God. That's plus 10, so 24.
Sun Kong bounces around in his hands, and you think for just a second that you're about to have to berate him, but he quickly catches it with his tail.
Gotcha.
That was pretty scary.
Nah, I got it.
You see Ukog giving you a glare, Sun Kong.
It's all in fun.
So what do you do with this box, Sun Kong?
I'm gonna... Let's see. Roshi said the runes looked familiar, right? I'm gonna, meditate on it, try to see if I can open the third eye and just sort of study it, I guess? I don't know.
You guys watch as Sun Kong sort of just sits, legs crossed, kind of focusing on the box. Sun Kong, you sort of just meditate with this box in both hands, kind of running your fingers across the glyphs that sort of make up this dot work, these squares that make up this pattern on the box. Everyone sees the sort of eye of the bionoid open on Sun Kong's forehead.
Oh.
Sun Kong, this appears to be some type of cipher, a language that perhaps due to our biology or culture seems ingrained in my mind. I believe if you were to run your fingers across, I may be able to translate for you. It's not exactly a language, but there are messages kept here within this patchwork of symbols.
Alright, I hold the box in one hand and run my fingers across the runes with my other.
As you do, you kind of take a second to run a finger, at least where you assume is sort of the beginning. And as you do, you hear Roshi in the back of your mind. Held deep within the Eos space, a monster did this hero face. Carved in stone 3 spots do trace, the place where he doth rest in grace. So cold, damp, and dark this place, stonework above does this area lace. To awaken the warrior of this rare race, a rousing song here must make its case.
I'll relay that to everybody.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, gonna need that. Right.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy.
3 spots do trace.
Do we see other areas with stones?
You guys can make a perception check if you'd like.
I'll
You
do
guys
it at disadvantage.
you guys mostly did nature, so no one really did a full perception to kind of check the area out.
Cap. 17.
12. Remember the double.
If there are 3 raised stone buildings that Aesop saw, that is his going theory.
21.
16.
17.
Those of you who got below a 15,
Die.
You look around and you don't notice any of the kind of smaller, what you're kind of assuming are tombstones, or at least stonework that lines the area around here, that has any sort of like pattern or circles or anything that would mention anything carved in stone, like spots that would kind of be pointed out to you. You do, however, along with those who rolled higher, you guys do notice off a bit in the distance there seems to be some sort of you're assuming that you may be in the right area, although you're not terribly sure, because you do see kind of sitting stuck wedged in the ground now that some of the dust and smoke has cleared. There seems to be sort of like a facsimile of perhaps ceremonial, distinguishing some type of gravesite, you're unsure, a very large and unrealistically gigantic sword that sort of sticks out of the ground. At least it looks it. There's not a terrible sheen to it, although it looks made of steel as it sort of digs into the ground. And not far out, some 10-15 feet in the air, is what looks to be sort of like what you would assume to be like the hilt of the weapon. It's so large you couldn't imagine any actual creature brandishing something like this. So probably maybe denoting just some warrior or some hero around here. You guys remember from the last session that this area was rumored to be a site for the Elvish Armada, or at least rumors persisted of it. Those sort of being the kind of original patrollers. The Pioneer Patrollers are actually sort of like an offshoot of the Elvish Armada. Those with a higher than 15 check kind of peer around, and after sort of taking that in note, also notice some gravestones that have what looks like carvings in each of them. In the forefront, there seems to be a carving in the right side of one, and sort of like a elliptical half circle. In the second stone, there seems to be a full open circular hole within it. And then in a stone not too far past that, similarly to the one in the forefront, a semicircle cut in the left side of it.
Aha! This sounds like it could be related to what was inscribed upon the box. 3 spots. It was something with tracing, and It sounds like it's describing something subterranean, like a catacomb or something. If those are gravestones, as they appear to be, then that should be our next stop.
Oh. Then let's go.
Seems
Let's
not
go.
too far off in the distance, probably like a 5-6 minute walk through this sort of barren, uprooted rock sort of valley that kind of makes up this area, this canyon-like area.
Let's fucking do it.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
You guys don't see too many more threats or anything in the skies that immediately impede your travel over here. Again, you still hear the occasional collapse and thudding footsteps in the distance. As one or two of you turn back to look, you see what looks like large pieces of rubble and rock flying through the air and smashing into the ground, creating more debris and mist that kind of ekes out into the valley of this area, but doesn't seem extremely close.
Well, I think the farther we get from that, the better.
Oh.
It isn't too long until you guys reach these set of 3 stones, similar to the ones that you kind of rested at. There is sort of like a circle lining of small pebbles that sort of denote an area here. And these 3, which are assuming tombstones or gravestones with some type of markings on them, as well as these strange holes carved into them, kind of denote the area here.
Alright, well... Oh, that stomping is very unsettling.
Oh, I don't like it either. I
Uh,
mean, we're lucky it's only one half.
right. For now.
Do you think that was the monster?
Oh, surely. Right?
I've never seen anything as big as that before. If your friend here, what he says is true, I couldn't imagine the monster any more terrifying.
Flashback to Witch Light Marauder.
Yeah.
Alright, well... Do something, Sun Kong. Aesop gestures wildly to the gravestones.
Is there a song of your inner self's people?
I will meditate again and speak with Roshi. I mean, what do you remember of? I mean, do you remember any sort of songs or legends from your people, like that might fit this sort of situation?
Our race is interesting in that we are symbiotic with our hosts. Certainly, there are the ones who we attached and formed a bond with who may have been the types to have certain musical talents as your friend, Glacé. However, our particular race, the Bionoid mind, if you could assume such a thing, is much more logical. I doubt there is a song of our people, per se.
It's the original Dragon Ball Z theme song. Cha-la.
Ta-la.
Could does looking through these holes, like making it so they all line up, does that
And
kind of
VD,
point towards anything?
you sort of walk around the gravestones and sort of like leaning down to where the holes are eye level, do notice that as you peer through the center, there does seem to be a particular mound in the distance that is almost highlighted by the circle made up from these stones.
Aha.
Nice.
Real quick, before we go investigate that, good eye, by the way, NVD. The front of the music box, there was like a sphere or something on the front of it?
Yes, there was, Aedelwulf says.
Okay. So does it look like if we lined it up with the circles, it would be roughly the same shape? Like, obviously the circles and the stones are larger, but is it like more of an oval? Is it perfectly round?
It looks perfectly round. Make a like give me either a nature or a history check as you kind of think on that.
I am better at nature. That is a really good nature check.
Damn.
That is a 23.
As Sun Kong sort of like brandishes the box, so you can kind of see the round kind of circle that makes up the front area, the orb that kind of seems to attach to the front. Seeing Sun Kong holding it kind of reminds you that the orb on the front seems very similar in the nature of Sun Kong's bionoid eye on his forehead.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I was more thinking perhaps it was some sort of optical illusion or lens to shine through these holes, but that's also good to note.
I wonder.
Maybe we go check out the mound first, the one that Inviti found.
Okay. That could be the gravesite.
Very well.
Is there anything marking it?
You guys can make a perception check from here. It's a little in the distance.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna wait till I get there personally.
Yeah.
I don't know, from the runes on the box, it seems like the stones were set up to like lead us to where the
Then
grave.
let's go.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way.
All right. Like each of you take a turn to sort of like peer through the 3 lined up holes carved in stone, and then sort of like, you know, kind of turn to the side and kind of keep an eye on the mound this small kind of plateau that it's pointing towards, and begin heading that way. Again, this area is so large and vast that it takes you a few minutes. As one of you are walking...
Why just one of those?
Rinkaz, make an acrobatics check. Actually, hang on. Who's leading the charge here?
I guess it was Sun Kong and me originally.
Yeah.
Both of you guys make acrobatics checks as you kind of are making your way through the valley.
Am I good at that? I am good at that. I'm quite good at that.
Nice.
Unless I roll a
20.
Aesop.
Mine's a 20.
That's an 11.
Sun Kong, sort of like, so you guys are focusing on this sort of mound / plateau in the distance. Sun Kong, you catch note of it kind of up ahead before your feet kind of step off. Aesop, you take a little bit of a tumble, although you don't take any damage or anything, but the ground below you that was slightly rocky and you had to watch your footing, but was relatively even now, sort of gives way a bit, and you kind of nearly catch yourself with your sword cane from kind of falling over. And both of you and the rest of the group begins to now see that the area indented in the ground here looks to be the size of a large foot.
Does it look like this came from the Trask?
It looks very similar in shape to the Terrasque, as well as what Inviti has described about the Terrasque.
Aesop, lay down on the footprint. We'll know if it's the Trask or not.
No, that's very funny, Sun Kong, but I'll pass.
Well, it was here at one point, it seems.
The better we make it to this grave, perhaps that is where we return this box. The legendary warrior, the rumors say he was the one who originally sealed this creature. Perhaps he can do the same once we awaken him.
Yes.
Indeed.
Come. Aedelwulf holds out a hand, Aesop.
Oh, thank you. I dust myself off.
You guys continue your trek, kind of keeping an eye on the large, vast footstep in the clear rocky ground. It must have had some mass to make that amount. You having first-hand knowledge, Aesop, of how heavy that foot is.
Yes, it's quite.
You guys find yourselves now closing in, and you do notice on this raised kind of plateaued area, it takes a little bit of climbing. Not too much, though. Not like an action or anything, if we're being technical. It's just a little, it climbs in elevation to kind of form this plateaued area, but just sort of like focusing on your footwork, you're able to kind of make your way up to the top. You notice a singular gravestone with the same sort of etched, what looks like sort of like etched dot pattern that you saw on the music box, now sort of running vertically down this stone that sort of hangs, sort of, not hangs, but sort of sits vertically in the center of this mound here.
Very nice.
The ground at the foot of this stonework seems to be almost churned, like it was overturned or something like that.
By say, a giant foot?
Possibly.
No, you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't assume that necessarily. Because like kind of similar in the image, the actual, if you're assuming this is a tombstone, is still sort of like sitting vertically as it is in the picture here. So you would assume if the terrasque stuck here, just the weight of its foot would have probably knocked this over, but it doesn't seem like it.
Huh. Okay.
Are there like strong winds here?
Now that you made it into the valley, there is a relatively nice, cool breeze, which makes this kind of cold area a bit even colder. But at the very least, it also helps to keep the huge dust clouds being kicked up by the terrasque in the distance kind of at bay instead of covering this whole area as well.
Well, that's good.
You hear the grass kind of rustles, the wind kind of pushes through. You also still hear the debris and churning of the terrasque in the distance. You can still see its silhouette as it sort of kicks and throws its tail. Large pieces of rock and the entire sides of what look like pieces of plateau near the edge of the valley are just completely blown apart.
I rolled a 13 for perception. I'm specifically, I want to see possibly if there looks like there's a place maybe that the music box would like set into around here, maybe.
With that check, you peer around, and other than kind of seeing the things that I pointed out, you don't necessarily notice anything that looks like a clear and defined area to kind of set the box into.
What if this place is like undead? What if we're on like a whole bunch of graves right now and we're really just setting ourselves up?
Oh, I'm sure we are. I'm sure there's tons of dead creatures right below our feet.
That's what any graveyard is dead folk buried in the ground.
But you know, like the reanimated kind of dead.
Oh.
I look to Nvidia and say, can you say a prayer?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want to say the wrong thing.
God bless us, everyone.
Baruch Atana.
They stopped
Cthulhu. God. Yes. So if I could have everybody just be silent for a moment. May all the beings here nobly at rest stay at peace, and may all of those that they hope to see join them to protect them in the future.
That was very
What
nice.
the fuck was that?
Oh good, so nothing's gonna be grabbing our legs from the dirt or anything then. Great, wonderful. Glad you cleared that up.
Is it?
Why is it? Getting louder.
This is bad.
You guys turn and just see more debris and rubble being kicked up by the terrasque.
Okay. In the distance, right?
Somewhat in the distance.
Somewhat in the distance, huh?
It seems to be sort of just mindlessly, sort of listlessly just causing chaos around, but it does occasionally come your way. But as you guys were able to surmise, it doesn't seem like it has the know-how to follow you or anything.
So I have a weird idea. Am I able to call forward my third eye without going into my full bionoid form?
Roshi tells you, as you sort of ponder this, certain times you can call upon the third eye. However, it mostly shows itself during either very important times or especially times of danger. A sixth sense, if you will.
I wanted to actually see if it fit into that indentation in the front. Like put the box against my forehead, and I'm just gonna concentrate.
Well, the front of the box has sort of like a similar orb on it. Similar to the one as you sort of...
Okay, sorry.
Like as you run a hand on your forehead, feeling the eye of the bionoid, it kind of looks similar to, in shape and size to what you see on the front of the music box. Roshi says, there is writing from what I can see through our eyes on the stonework, though.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go up to the stonework and run my fingers across it, the writing.
Sun Kong kind of takes a step up and kind of just running 2-3 fingers across the embedded pattern etched into the stonework, kind of running it down the vertical shape of it. Sun Kong, you hear in your mind say, "Here lies Tarion, the legendary warrior who sealed the creature."
Oh, so this is definitely where we need to be, it seems. It seems his name was Tarion. Does that ring any bells to anybody? History check?
No.
Does not. But this is clearly the person Aedelwulf is talking about. So.
Yes, I am not familiar with this name, but this is good news. We must find out what we need to do with the box.
Didn't it mention something about playing the song?
Yeah, but I was trying. I thought I don't know how to make the music box do its thing.
Can I think of any old, like, was it Elvish that we're dealing with? Was it like did Sun Kong tell us it was like Elvish people?
You guys know from I can't remember who mentioned it. Maybe it was Aedelwulf himself that he mentioned to you guys that the Elvish Armada are the ones who initially helped to invent the bionoids. And so, by and large, the users of bionoids themselves were Elven. So there probably is somewhat of a strong connection with sort of Elvish culture. You guys assume that this may have been a Armada base at one point. Although, even as you have traversed it on foot, could not tell through the thick dust and smoke. Even if there was one at one point, it may no longer be standing or recognizable at all due to the bottom half of the terrasque kind of ensuing chaos.
Well, can I, what if I just play something that's rousing and...
Sing a song to wake the dead, Glacé.
Like something Elvish. Can I do like some kind of check to think of something Elvish because I know how to speak that language.
Sure. Give me like a performance check.
Can I speak Elvish?
So I will do a performance check at disadvantage.
All right.
Well, my rolls are luckily all under 10 today, so that's gonna be that's a 16.
I mean, that's not that's not terrible. You give a rousing. I always assume Elvish has like a refined, like, it sounds almost French. It's a beautiful language. So Glace sort of sings this very eloquent song in Elvish. Some of you probably picking up some of the words depending on your languages. Others maybe not able to tell exactly what she's saying, but the just the language itself, even though alien to you, just still sounds beautiful when sung. Kind of spinning around, pirouetting as you use your mic staff, Glace. Of course, you can't just do anything standing still. Give a rousing song that lasts a couple minutes, but as you finish, notice that nothing has changed.
Some of that West Side Elfish.
The thing, the message on the music box, Aedelwulf says, it mentioned a rousing song, but perhaps we are not in the area that we need to be just yet.
Oh.
That makes sense. We probably need to be in the tomb's inner sanctum, assuming this is even a tomb. Could just be a, like a regular grave plot. Should we just start
the riddle, how did it go again?
So cold, damp, and dark this place. Stonework above does this area lace. So...
Aedelwulf kind of just nods and looks over kind of at you, Aesop, from what you just previously said.
Mm-hmm. Stonework above does this area lace. Well, I mean, we found the stonework that led us here.
Shall we try to find a way underground? Where the stones were?
Maybe.
This place isn't like raised at all, is it? It's kind of ground level, or
Correct.
is it like up?
And you guys also know that the area around here is a bit dry and cold. There's no dampness to it.
Oh. Yes. Find damp.
Aedelwulf uses his wand and kind of pokes at the upturned earth around the grave of the legendary warrior here, Tyrion.
Maybe, I mean, it's a little macabre, but maybe we just start digging? I mean, with the terrasque stomping around, who knows if there is debris that could be covering the entrance.
Let's...
We even have anything to dig with?
I can tell you firsthand, whether common grave robbers traveling on their spelljammers or the Vodani themselves, I doubt little would care about leaving the heirlooms of those around here, specifically if they could not read how important such a gravesite may have been. Perhaps simply returning this artifact to the owner's coffin or resting place could do the trick in terms of awakening him. Just a guess, I don't know.
Could be, but we still need a way to get down to him. I don't really have a shovel or anything. I could turn into 22, but if he got bored, then probably not the best idea.
Would there be any equipment on the ship? Could we go back to the ship real fast? Because we have that whole farming area.
I mean, surely we have something we can use on our person.
Lassie is gonna start digging with her hands.
Okay.
Clatter!
Clatter kind of drops one knee and then the other, and then using his kind of large steel-like fingers begins to just dig into the earth and begins kind of just doing that thing where he's like using two cupped hands to just shift the earth away.
I'll help as well.
I'll provide moral support.
Why don't you just kick it around and peck with your beak?
I'm very weak. I mean, I can try, but I'm not going to help very much.
I'll get in there as well.
Yeah, Ukog kind of drops seeing the others and kind of just shrugs, seeing that it may not be the most efficient way, but it certainly a way to begin digging into the earth.
I can try to help them like identify stuff with nature, like if they come across any stone. Or anything
Aesop's
like
our
that.
supervisor.
I mean, that's basically all I can do right now.
Yes, together with teamwork, we can undig a grave, everybody. Let's work together now.
It wouldn't be the first time.
So those of you sort of getting down and kind of digging into the earth here, it already looks somewhat churned to some degree as you kind of... The earth is relatively easy to move, as if it had been disturbed previously, as you kind of quickly move it out of the way. It only takes you a few minutes before, Gloss, say you go to grab another clump and your fingers dig into something as they said it. They kind of hit something hard.
Oh,
Aha!
jackpot.
You sift the dirt and soot and move it out of the way, and now see what looks like the portion of what looks to be something made from wood.
Oh,
I
it's
found...
a coffin.
Coffin.
Okay, everybody. Well, there's the coffin. So do we open it, or what are we doing?
Well, let's open it.
Oh,
I would suppose so.
I'll open it. I'll use my staff as a crowbar.
Okay, so you guys spend another couple minutes sort of clearing out what is left on top of this area here, and confirming your hypothesis, Glosse. You shifting the dirt out of the way, you do see what looks to be sort of the cover of a wooden coffin.
Is it just plain?
It looks just plain. Nothing special denoting it.
but he was a hero. You'd think it would be gilded and jeweled and all that fun stuff.
Unless he's one of those, not about material possessions type hero.
I guess.
It also may not be a coffin at all.
What could it be?
I don't know. We should open it and find out.
Let's do it.
Glosse, you kind of say this as you push one end of your mic staff, sort of wedge it in to the side. Give me an athletics check to sort of try and pry the coffin open.
Well, I sure am glad I'm exhausted. That's an 8.
Yeah, let me try.
I'm sorry.
Is anybody trained in athletics? Glosse is pretty strong too.
I am.
I just rolled a 4, so.
Glosse, you try wedging, but all of that nasty dust and soot that you breathed in has really given you a bit of a hoarse breath, and it kind of pissed you off a little bit and left you feeling slightly under weather, and you can't just get it just yet.
Ugh.
Glosse sort of steps back a little defeated.
I mean, Rinkaz, you're strong, right?
No.
Oh.
You're giant lizard man. You open it, Rinkaz.
Can't we get Clatter to do it? Clatter's strong, isn't
Oh,
he?
yes.
Clatter, get down there.
Clatter looks over towards Glosse and then kind of grabs 2 hands at the side where she had initially kind of dug her mic staff into, and pulling, you hear the kind of stretching of wood as it creaks and cracks, simultaneously in the distance seeing the silhouette of the terrasque shifting and moving around. It almost clumsily takes 2 steps, kind of falling into the side of a nearby, not too close, but somewhat off in the distance cliff, just portions of it just collapsing in its clumsy nature. Clatter rends the top of the coffin open, and peering inside, each of you see not a corpse or base of a coffin, but a set of stairs leading down into darkness.
What?
Oh, there we go.
Dancing lights.
I guess. Tally ho?
I suppose. Do I still have the light that Nvidi put on that coin, or did you need to use that for something else, Nvidi?
I can just make a bunch of those, but
Oh shit.
lasts for a day. Or I'm sorry, 1 hour. So
Sick. Yeah, I'll take one of those coins and start going on down the stairs.
As will I.
Aedelwulf peers down and says, no doubt that they may have probably made sure that there were defensive measures put in place for people not to take the box.
Of course.
With you stepping down below, as well as the creature up here, perhaps I stay up on the surface. Do you have anything that maybe I could perhaps relay messages to you to let you know if the creature comes too close for you to come back up?
I can give him my stone of Frostbeak, that way he has one and the rest of us have ours.
Oh.
So is that your earring of communication that you're using?
Yeah, that, okay. Whatever, yeah.
The one that Kaz made.
Oh, what is this? He says.
I expect this back.
He takes it and kind of like it shifts it towards his ear. I put it on here.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll be able to hear and talk to us from any distance.
You guys watch as he sort of like shifts it on an ear.
It's an old man trying to program a VCR.
Pretty much. So I'll be able to hear you all as well as speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I am sorry. I feel as though I do not want to lose myself down here. You are capable warriors in and of yourselves. I will do my
okay. Sorry,
yes,
go ahead.
I will do my best to keep an eye out on the creature. I would not want it trampling around here and collapsing the entryway, trapping you down inside of this tomb.
Yeah, no, definitely let us know if it starts coming back.
The best part is we have this little creature here pointing at Rek above Sun Kong. So if we do discover something, we'll be able to share the visuals with you later.
Oh, that sounds amazing. You people have magical technologies I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. What was Glasse gonna say?
I wanted to do an insight check on him to see if he was.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If he truly meant what he was saying about, us being capable and him wanting to stay out of trouble just because he's an old man or whatever.
Sure.
But one of us is skeptical.
Ooh, okay. What was I doing? Insight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. 13?
It sounds like he's being relatively honest from what you're getting out of it. His whole quest following you along is to awaken this legendary warrior, and so even if you guys get down there and are successful, if you're trapped down there, well then that helps him none, so.
Okay. Well, down we go, checking for traps, making sure there's no pits or...
Yeah, let's keep our eyes open, people.
Has Aesop ever encountered a trap before?
I don't know that he has.
Oh no. I know Kaz did a lot, quite frequently.
Our very first dungeon thing. You stepped on a trap. You were the first one.
Yeah, I remember. Alright, stepping down, I want to use one of my blood hunter features. I want to smell the air and make a survival check and see if there are any undead that have passed here recently.
Ooh, yes.
I have advantage on that when it comes to smelling undead blood. Oh wow, they're both good checks. It's a 23 for survival? It's a 22 if it's nature.
As you guys are descending the steps, it seems to kind of keep lowering and lowering a few levels as you guys are stepping down. Aesop, you kind of focusing, taking the time to kind of hone your senses. You smell around. You were smelling for undead and what was the other thing?
I have to choose a specific creature type. It's undead, and while I'm actively smelling around for them, I can't be surprised by them.
Okay. As you are smelling around in the immediate vicinity, you do not pick up the scent of any undead. There is a stuffy smell that most everyone can smell here. Probably just due in part for this being somewhat of a area kind of secretly built under a gravesite. Though your senses don't pick any extraordinary things up.
Well, no zombies. I'm sure it's perfectly safe.
Well, can we check for like the tiles, the like traps, all that fun stuff before we continue just barging in?
Probably
15 on perception
fair.
for that.
So Aesop having his, what do you light up for a second time? Just that same coin like previous?
Yeah, it's the same coin that I had beforehand.
Okay. Lighting up the same coin as you previously had lit provides a relatively modicum of amount of light kind of heading down the steps here. So Sun Kong, as you peer around, running a hand against the wall and just sort of looking at the architecture that's built, it sort of gives way into what looks like sort of like a stonework tunnel that kind of leads down below, and it leads you down what you would assume is probably 2 or 3 floors if you were to just kind of guesstimate. With your perception check, you don't notice anything out of place. No grooves in the walls, no areas of the steps that look as though they may trigger some type of effect. You don't notice anything particular.
I think we're okay for now, at least down this stairwell for a bit.
Okay.
You guys continue.
Be cautious.
You guys continue down the stairwell, and soon, using the light from the coin held up by Aesop, do see where the steps stop and the ground levels out. As you peer through, the room ahead sort of opens up a little, and you see what looks to be a couple other, what you're assuming, stonework graves, as well as a few skeletal remains sitting on the floor. Various pieces of cobwork and stone rubble are scattered about, and occasionally, although not necessarily hearing the same ambient noise of the rubble in the distance, you can still occasionally see sort of like pockets of like dirt and dust kind of drop from the ceiling, and feel a little bit of vibration from just the terrasque even being in the distance. You guys reach the floor here, and this is what you see.
Daddy, it's dark.
I want to put my tack flashlight on. My gun.
Okay.
I forgot you had that.
There are bodies around here. Maybe we better watch out for something. Does it look like they were mangled, or does it look like they were like do they look intact?
You could make a check from there, or you could get an easier DC by getting closer to check.
I want to check for traps.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
Oh, so
mine was 11. No, well, yeah, but 11 is the actual.
Illuminating the area with your flashlight on your rifle, I believe, Rinkaz. You sort of do that sweep across the room and do notice at the far end, over one of the stonework coffins, you do see what looks to be a continuing kind of catacombed hallway that sort of leads into the distance at the far end.
Oh boy.
You know, with Jira on my back, I feel completely safe and protected. I'm going to march completely up to one of the skeletons, and I'll make a medicine check on it.
Sure.
God damn it, Aesop. Feast or famine today. It's an 11. Oh, sorry. No, yeah, 11.
Aesop, with your background, you get the sense that there doesn't look like there was anything that affected these humanoids unnaturally. although what particularly led to their demise you're unsure.
They don't have any like gear or anything near them?
It just looks to be tattered remains of ripped cloth and what probably once served as clothing, as well as various bonework around. These skeletal remains look particularly old.
Does it look like we'd have to crawl over these caskets to get to the next part of the room?
It does.
Oh.
Oh, fun.
Oh, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Are there actual ruins on the coffin, or is that just, decoration?
You can make a perception check if you like.
19. That's actually not bad. That's
What was
good.
the 24.
I have to roll twice. Exhaustion.
Oh, you have exhaustion. Okay.
As you sort of take a step to percept the coffin closer, Sun Kong, you do notice there does look like a language written on top, and you do also notice with your perception check that the top of the stonework coffin seems shifted a bit, as if it was almost moved. It's not fully closed.
First, I want to run my fingers across the runes. Sure, I can't read them.
This it's not the same sort of dot-like square cipher as before. This actually looks like a language. Do you speak Elvish?
No. So it's it's some kind of language on these coffins, but I only know common.
Step aside, Sun Kong. Let me read this thing. Oh, there's no undead in here. That's what I
Sure
thought.
thing, willing
So
cast.
I'm assuming nothing's gonna grab me if I read this, right?
Surely.
Surely. Okay, I start reading it.
Glosse stepping over the skeletal remains and peering over the coffin. You read the top, and it reads, Aaron Olozana, Elvish Armada, served his people well.
Ah, well, it's just a resting place for the Armada.
Huh.
Wait, is it Nvidi? Can't Nvidi read this too?
Really can read everything.
Yeah, he's like,
I can, yeah.
okay,
I
well,
speak
maybe
Elvish too, so.
get up front then, just in
Uh,
case.
Well, for now, at least. You don't have to stay there.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I peep inside and see if there's anything? I'm not moving it, Jason. I'm just peeping.
It's too dark to see.
Well,
Aesop opens it.
oh,
I was gonna push it off too. So
Aesop, make a athletics check to kind of push the large stone top off.
I'm gonna use guidance from Nvidi.
Okay.
Alright. This is -1. It's 13, not too bad.
it's a little above average.
Alright, 15.
Yeah, you're with a 15. You're able to shift the top off enough to where you kind of push it to one side enough to where the weight pulls it over off of the framework itself and over onto the far side. Inside, you see that it is empty, and there seems to be some sort of set-down cloth that seems shifted around and dirtied up a bit.
I have a feeling that we are definitely not the first modern folk to be here. This appears thoroughly robbed.
Oh, you mean that time, like, you stole all that money from those people on that
Yes,
pavilion?
exactly. Sun Kong, help me with this other one, will you?
Sure thing.
I don't like undead.
Excuse me, Nvidi.
I'll aid Sun Kong.
Yeah, let you move Wukong, Sun Kong.
Daddy, I can't move her.
Oh boy.
Wait, I guess Anoki's here too.
Hey guys.
Okay. So are we doing this together then?
Yeah, let's do it together.
I'm aiding Sun Kong.
Oh god damn it!
I'm aiding you.
Oh, so
Oh, so you still would have rolled a 1 anyway. So.
yeah, the one was my first roll either way.
Aesop's a strong baby bird, though.
I guess. I thought you said you couldn't help us up front.
Look, I'm just motivated by the prospect of a lot of money inside of these. That's 17 total.
Profit.
Sun Kong, you go to push along with Aesop, and assuming that the two of you are in sync, accidentally find out that you're pushing a little too fast, sort of at an angle, and catch a little bit of your hand, taking 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Son of a...
Guess you shouldn't be turning over graves, opening coffins.
That's Sun Kong.
Worth it.
Seems to be working out fine for me.
Taking a second to sort of, whip Sun Kong's hand in the air, you guys kind of both return and giving a sturdy push. The top on this one actually looked to be relatively seated on top, as opposed to the other one that looked shifted and a bit off. With your check, Aesop, you're able to, along with Sun Kong, after the initial sort of failure there, are able to shift this one off. Similar to the corpse, well, not corpse necessarily, but the skeletal remains nearby, there is another skeletal body inside of this coffin. Hands just sat at the sides in sort of like a formal pose. This one actually is wearing pretty decent looking clothing, embellished with a couple jewels and stuff like that. It looks like some fine clothing.
Ooh, I think they missed this one.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad luck. They're dead.
They're dead, and I don't sense any undead around here. So, look, I'm just gonna take these. And Vidi said his little mumbo-jumbo prayer or whatever. He waves his hand dismissively.
Oh.
So we're going to be perfectly fine. I take out a scalpel and try to remove the bejeweled parts of the clothing.
Make like an investigation check.
Okay.
Aesop.
I'm not
CSI
great at that, but I'm not terrible at that. That's a 17 total. Thank you, Aesop.
That's pretty good. Yeah, as you sort of work off the embellished pieces of these finer garments, mostly the jewels that are sort of embedded in like the cuffs of the wrist and kind of pinned at the chest left side area. You feel like you have about 150 pieces worth of gold in total with this little like mound that you kind of shift around in your hand.
Very, very nice.
I'm calling it now. That's bad juju. Something bad is gonna happen. And it's bad.
Well, look, I say, putting the gemstones into my pocket. I haven't been punished for it yet. What are the chances it'll ever happen?
You're still with us, aren't you?
Exactly.
Oh.
Wait. All right, let's keep going. I've had my fill.
You guys continue to move. Glosse, you see that there does seem to be some type of tunnel continuing on past this grave. However, you would have to make your way over it to continue down this tunnel. Seems to descend a little bit.
What does this one say, Glosse?
What does this one say?
I hope it says Eduardo the Rich or something like that.
Maybe it says parakeet.
You're a sick bird.
This one says Galen Winran fought hard, died harder. May he rest in peace.
I've seen that movie.
Die harder. I wonder if he was stepped on a trask by a trask also.
Is everyone coming? I don't want to be the only one.
Well, we're gonna push this open first.
Oh, we're totally gonna push this open. Okay, here we go.
Similarly, the top of this one, as you guys near it, looks a bit shifted. And
okay. So this one wasn't shifted, but the other two were.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, well, let's not bother with this one then. It's probably already robbed.
Stand a little bit away from me. I don't want your bad luck rubbing off on me. It's something I know something bad is gonna happen.
Aesop mimics a really scary voice. I have control of this vessel now.
You stop that! You stop it right now! That's
Just having a spot of fun.
Ringing in all of your ears is, hello? Can you hear me still?
Oh God! Why did we leave that with him?
I can't hear him. He has mine.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good. How are you doing down there?
Oh, fine. We found a couple robbed graves.
Uh-huh.
Already
Robert,
empty.
too.
Oh, cut that, Sun Kong, cut that part out of the broadcast, please.
We will. We'll make heavy edits.
No doubt, probably spelljam or cutthroats or pirates looking to make off with what they could. I assume that they don't know the importance of this site, though.
Oh?
What do you mean? Oh, somebody ask him what he means. I can't hear him. I just remembered, so I can't answer.
So what's
You just mean that it contains the hero that sealed away the beast, right?
Of course, yes. Hopefully, once returned to its origin, we can awaken them.
Yes. Sorry, them? Plural?
Oh, I just meant one, him.
Oh, okay, alright, fine.
Oh, should we be wary of any crazy curses down here?
Are you asking me?
I am.
I would be careful down there. No doubt that there are things in place to ensure that... you see, for everything I surmise, the warrior spirit, as it were, is contained magically within the music box itself. For all intents and purposes, that is his gravestone, his tomb, his coffin. I would surmise that people would not want that removed from its place of origin. I'm sure there is something set in place to ensure such a thing.
Oh, good to know.
The creature up here is still moving erratically, but I don't believe it is approaching any closer. I will let you know if I see anything, though.
Aesop puts the gemstones back.
Oh, now don't you feel better?
No.
I want to check for like footprints, maybe.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's been anybody here walking around?
Sure.
Yeah, when you're done with that check, I got one check I want to.
Oh,
Somebody check for traps.
I can do that too. But...
I don't know why I'm checking anything.
It doesn't hurt to check.
That's right. Never hurts.
I have an 8.
I'm gonna shine my light down the hall and take a perception check.
Sure. Glosse, with your check, it's a little too dark down here to pick up any, indented steps in the kind of dirt descending just slightly down this kind of cave.
Only had dark vision.
17 total.
Are you looking for anything in particular, Rinkins?
Movement.
You take a second and kind of comb the area with your torchlight attached to your rifle, and don't see anything out of place except the party moving, although you do see the occasional falling of sand either from the ceiling or the kind of surrounding walls as the party kind of heads forward past you.
Wait a minute.
Through this kind of alcove here.
What does this look like? It's crude, dug up. So we just came from a nice, not nice,
Tomb?
but a tomb, and now this leads to does this look more like a cave kind of thing?
Erosion?
Yeah. What's why the difference? Why did they just stop there? Why did they?
Perhaps seismic activity from the terrasque stomping around. Seems plausible.
What was NVD doing?
I just wanted to notice that Aesop put the gems back, so I'd like to see if I could do a religion check to kind of rearrange it the way it should be done.
What a fucking champion.
Okay. A religion, or I'll even take a history, since you're kind of around the party, to see how they were initially set up.
I've not rolled that stat one time good. The entire
Oh.
9.
It's not that you're unsure with your check. It's just that you know that the elves, similar to most races, just have their culture can be polytheistic. There can be a number of gods of whom they can serve. Even in terms of sort of like the Armada, those wishing to protect order and peace, there may be a couple different ones. So you sort of just make an educated guess as to a particular style as you kind of replace the gems and pieces of jewelry on the corpse, and to the best of your knowledge.
Alright, so you sent no undead creatures, and we don't see any traps.
So everything's fine.
Why aren't you stepping forward with me then?
Well, I thought you were taking the lead all of a sudden.
You guys notice up ahead the cave kind of descends and curves off to the right.
I want to stealthily approach and peer around the corner.
Okay. Give me a stealth check first.
Oh boy.
He's a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of like pull your coat out and kind of pocket the lit up coin. Do you have any senses that help you see in the dark, Isan?
I only have advantage on smell if I'm in the dark. That's
Okay.
basically it.
Well, you still sort of use that as your main sense of perceiving the area ahead of you. You feel pretty stealthy, and peering around the corner, see that the area opens up into sort of like a larger cave room, and pull the light out just a bit from underneath your coat to kind of light up ahead.
I shine the coin back at the others and tell them to approach. I mean, like I kind of wave them over. I don't say out loud approach.
I want to roll for stealth.
Guess I will as well.
Well,
God damn it.
Aesop, you feel a drop from above as you notice, as you guys are kind of descending a little bit, the rough, dry cave walls are beginning to be a little bit more entwined with kind of some roots and vine work, and it's slightly more damp as you head below here.
Oh, it's wet.
seriously.
Don't like it.
Oh, we were looking for somewhere dark and wet, weren't we?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Cold, damp, and dark.
All right. I think if there is anything around the corner here, we have a good chance of fighting back in the tunnel. So, if anything is lurking just beyond this point, maybe I could lure them back here?
Okay, just be careful.
I'm pretty quick on my feet.
Give you bardic inspo.
I'm gonna take my coin out, and I'm gonna unstealthily walk into the room.
Okay. Feeling as though you have no reason to hold back, you pull the coin out, giving you clear sight as you turn the corner and see a large open room ahead.
It's an open room.
Oh my god.
The area in the open cave room seems mostly enclosed. Past a bit of rockwork at the far corner, however, it seems to lead into another area.
And there's also one in the south here? Like.
There is one in the south that appears as though it would lead somewhere, however, you just see a cavern wall sort of in that area.
Okay.
Maybe we should hug the walls?
Perhaps. I think there's like some sort of fungus.
disgusting.
Yeah, what looks to be some type of cavern shroom or fungi is growing in the corners. You can clearly see now from the more damp nature of this area as you guys descend that it would probably be more apt for it to grow in a place like this compared to above.
Can I do a nature check on the mushrooms and
Sure.
walk up to them?
Sure.
Oh, I've never seen these before. That's a 5. No, that's 6, but still.
Cavern
Okay.
mushrooms, Aesop. Of what variety and make you're unsure.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary, you would surmise.
Oh, wait, what am I doing? Inoki,
Yes.
come here for a moment, will you?
All right. What's going on?
Do you know? Can you identify these? Do you know what kind of mushrooms these are?
Let's see here.
I knew there was a reason we brought you along.
Of course. These guys are like my brothers. I'm kidding, of course.
I honestly wasn't sure. I wasn't going to say anything. I mean, not that I expect you to know what all mushrooms are, just because you yourself are a mushroom. That would be ridiculous.
All mushrooms look the same.
Yeah, Sun Kong, please, you're not helping.
You see Inoki sort of pull one uproot from the ground and take a look at it.
They're a standard variety cavern fungi. Makes great when you throw it in a stew. Nothing poisonous or terrible.
They're edible. Good to know.
Let's bring some back for some stew.
Inoki sort of pockets one himself in sort of like a small satchel he has at his side.
I pick some and give them to Rinkaz.
Okay.
I guess like a bushel, however much that is.
Yeah, there's enough to get like a good clump of them.
Okay. All right. Well, that was nice. What do you see, Glace?
Oh, that's right. This is the opening. What do I see? Stealthily. Oh God. Well, I rolled a 2 the first time. Let's see.
That actually leads to a cavern wall there. You guys watch as Glace heads up, feeling sneaky, and peers at a cavern wall.
Glace, sweetheart, that's a wall. I know it's dark in here.
Oh, right, of course. Oh, right. It's a wall.
You probably wanted more mushrooms, that's all. It's okay.
You do see Glace using the light that Aesop sort of has brandished out with the coin, that there does seem to be around this kind of bend here, this corner, an area up ahead. As you step that way, you see this up here.
Ooh. Hey everybody, think I found it. We're here.
The cave ends, resembling again sort of the familiar stonework of a handmade site as you sort of enter this room here. Sitting in the center of the room seems to be some sort of a raised platform. Interesting, glowing, what looks like arcane sigil seems to be etched onto the surface.
Where's our map?
Above seems to be just sort of like a area of wall that almost seems either knocked through or perhaps was another part of the cavern that was used to that may have led somewhere else at one point but has collapsed in since.
Well then, make sure we're getting a shot of this with Rec.
Oh.
It's very mysterious.
Oh yeah, Rec's with me.
How are you all doing?
Very frightening. We
found
think
mushrooms.
Okay, yes, we did find mushrooms, but we think we also found the resting place.
They're not poisonous mushrooms, are they?
They're soup mushrooms.
Oh, good. You've found the resting place, then?
It appears that way.
On the Illuminati.
Good. Do what you can to suss out how to awaken the warrior, please. The creature above, he is still moving around all dumb-like, but is kind of closing in to some degree.
Okay.
Are there any like wounds? Sorry, Rinkaz.
As I say, I cover the mic and I say, I think they found Cregan.
Oh.
Everyone
there
is
any,
so
like-
mean to Cregan.
musical notes or anything musicy indicating that there's like a
Give me
like
some
a song?
Give me some type of check, Glosse.
Oh boy. Let's I guess investigation.
Sure.
Oh, these dice. Wonderful. That's a 6.
You don't notice any sort of notes or anything kind of etched into this glowing kind of sigil that is on this raised platform.
Uh-huh. Well, what about you, Magic Boy? Is there anything that you can do to figure out what this is?
I've been thinking about it almost the whole time we're here. Something magical, something musical.
Oh, the music box. Right.
Is there any place that looks like the music box would like fit?
Not on here. Not that there's no area here that sort of outlines in like a box-like pattern.
Can I just put it on the dais, on the glowing part?
You
Like in the middle?
kind of extend a hand, Sun Kong, and place the old music box on top of the sigil. With a flash, it disappears.
Oh, well, that was it.
Oh, well!
Is this a portal? Was that supposed to happen?
Well, that just happened. Either way.
Fascinating.
I put my hand on this thing.
You
She touched-
place a hand on the sigil, Glosse. With a flash, Glosse disappears.
Oh no! She's dead.
Don't
She's
close
dead.
it! I jump on it.
Sun Kong jumps and disappears, stepping onto the sigil. Clatter following along because Clatter does things, even if they may not be the safest, just steps up to the platform and disappears.
So gentlemen. New career tomb robbing? Joking, of course. Should we follow them?
I think we have to.
Okay. Aedelwulf, if you lose contact with us, tell my daughter I love her.
Okay, I will do my best, friend.
So you all take a second to kind of step up on the raised platform. With a flash, you find yourselves, along with Glosse and Sun Kong, who are kind of brushing themselves off a bit, in another area of the cavern with a similar pedestal. At your feet, you see the old music box kind of sitting on a similar raised platform with a similar glowing sigil on it. This room is circular, kind of dome-shaped, and there seems to be an edge that leads off into darkness below. It just seems like an open, dark area.
Well, we're alive. That's surprising.
Aedelwulf, can you still hear us?
I can still hear you. Are you all still alive and well?
Oh, good.
It looks like I guess we're on the same planet still. That's
Have you run
Yes.
into any security or defenses set up in there?
Well,
No.
to like I don't know. Was this a portal? Would you consider this a portal? Magic Boy, is this a portal?
More like a translocator, I'd say.
There you go. Whatever it is.
Daddy, I can't see where the rest of them are because I'm still in the first room.
It's in your mind.
Daddy, I don't like using my
This
imagination.
is imagination land.
Do we see more graves in here?
You do not. As you peer around the room, Aesop especially, sort of with the held up lit coin, you come to sort of the edge of what seems to be the open. It looked as though it may have led off into another sort of like cavernous hallway, although now as you step up to the edge, you see that it kind of just descends into darkness and opens up into probably a much larger room. You're not sure how far it descends, but peering at the edge now, using the coin as your light, you see a very thin pillar sticking up from the ground, not too far off, probably within jumping distance.
I can make that.
Make a perception check, Aesop, or whoever else is kind of nearby there if they want.
Okay. Do I still get advantage, or is it?
God damn.
If
like
this is based on
210?
sight, I'll let you get advantage in this instance.
Okay, that is 18.
6.
Sun Kong, you're kind of trying to peer out, but you don't have the light in your hand, so it's a little difficult. Aesop, you do notice past the first sort of raised pillar, it's just this sort of rocky pillar that extends up and about meets the same sort of like floor levels than when you're standing on now. It's out some feet away from the distance of the edge here, but it does look like with a dexterous type of person they could jump out and kind of land safely on. You also notice, using your light and with your check, that there does seem to be a second pillar kind of hidden in the darkness, but because it's further out from the first one. But it does look as though you kind of see some perhaps some type of jumping obstacle.
Well,
I mean,
Sun Kong, this is definitely your forte.
Normally, yeah. So I guess I'll try.
We're all exhausted. What if I just create a dimensional door?
Oh, well. There's that.
Cause honey, I don't feel like jumping in these shoes.
Do you
I can
have
only
to
do it-
see the other side?
Oh, I do.
But you have dancing lights, right?
I've got a big ass spotlight on my gun.
Oh, yeah. Point over there.
Rink, as you kind of stepping up after everyone's kind of figured out that this looks like some type of obstacle where you have to jump in between, point your light across, and it looks to be that there is a good 5 or 6 of these kind of stone thin pillars that look as though they must be jumped across. However, at the far end, similar to the room that you're in now, it looks like it opens up into another kind of same open cavern area at the far end.
Now, wait a minute. What if this is the trap itself?
Oh, could be, I suppose.
Magic boy, do you sense anything?
Let me check.
I just like that he's Magic Boy.
Magic boy and daddy.
He can be my daddy.
Daddy.
Aesop and son.
Daddy, can I detect magic, please?
Oh god.
Gets worse every time we say it.
You raise a hand and the palm lights up and your eyes glow faintly. You sense a similar strong magic that you sensed before coming from the old music box held by Sun Kong currently. However, otherwise you don't really sense the immediate presence of magic in the area.
I think we're getting closer.
Excellent.
Well,
Do we want to try the dimension door, or are we doing this the old-fashioned way?
well, honey,
Well, can I just light up a coin and give it to Jira and have him fly forward and then kind of look to see where you need to go?
Yes, that sounds helpful. What a good boy Jura is.
Best boy.
You remove another small coin piece from your pockets in VD, and with a flick of your fingers, the coin lights up similar to the one Aesop has. You kind of lean down and watch as Jura kind of grasps it within his sharp teeth and kind of steps over to the edge and looks back towards you.
Time to do some cave diving, bud.
It kind of squeals as it pushes itself up and almost levitates in the air. The glowing set of orbs running along its back kind of lights up with a soft light, not enough to really light things up, but you can see that they're glowing, and it begins to just, it doesn't have wings, it just like shifts through the air itself. You watch along with Rinkaz kind of still holding steady the light towards the other end. Jira kind of makes it across and lands and peers around. You watch in the distance as Jira sort of like looks around the room, and it peers over to the right side sort of out of view and looks back and says, can you speak with Jira telepathically?
Within 100 feet, yeah.
And is that just like an at-will, just free thing to do?
Yeah, we can communicate. I can communicate with it telepathically, and it can convey I was just reading it because I knew you were going to ask me. It can convey...
It's like simple ideas,
emotions, whatnot back. But I can also look through its eyes as well.
So, before you attempt to look through his eyes or anything, simple ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense from its body language that it is pointing out that there may be some type of other pathway or hallway, kind of out of view once you guys make it across this area here.
That's a pointer dog pose.
Pretty much, yeah. It kind of it throws its sort of sharp-ended tail sort of in that direction, and you get the sense from its body language and the communication between the two in your mind that it's pointing something out once you get across.
Well then, I suppose we all need to get across then.
So yeah, door or old-fashioned way?
Well, I can take somebody else with me through my dimensional door.
Yeah.
I should be able to make it.
But who wants to come with me?
Who's the worst at acrobatics?
How big's the jump?
You have to jump from like pillar to pillar.
Yeah, it doesn't look unreasonable for any of you. Although you guys assume that with a relatively decent acrobatics check, you can make it across. However, you can't see where you would end up if you were not to make it across. Kind of just descends into darkness.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna use this inspiration card, and I'm just gonna use my acrobatics.
Okay, that cancels out your disadvantage from your exhaustion.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna do that too.
It also said increase your strength or dex. What did that fully say?
It's for a save.
I'd rather take the canceling out.
Okay.
I rolled a 24.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you had to choose one. Okay, sometimes those cards let you pick.
Yeah, but I'm gonna use it to cancel out my exhaustion as well.
That totally makes sense.
What's the DC?
I can't tell you that.
It's okay. You can do it, Rinkaz.
Jump and pray to God.
Is that for me or Wincad's
That's
blessing?
for Rinkaz.
Okay, that's fine. I have
What
an
I'll
18.
say is you jump across, seeing that it's not nearly as intimidating as you initially thought. Kind of turn back as you land on one of the the pillars and kind of sing a bit of a rousing song to Sun Kong, give him a bit of inspiration as he begins to make his way across.
Rincat.
Or was that for Rinkaz or Sun Kong, Glace?
I was for Rinkaz.
No, so what kind of check is that? Acrobatics?
That is acrobatics, yes.
16.
Glace, you make your way across. Sun Kong, you do the same. Rinkaz, it's a little intimidating seeing the darkness down below, but you're able to hop your way across.
And
Ukog follows suit behind you, Sun Kong.
How many times can I use Bardic Inspo? I mean,
it's,
can I use it
I
as
think it's
long?
4 times a day.
I know how many times I can do it, but can I do it like in a row? You know, do I have to? Can I like give it to Aesop as well? Like, can I use another one?
Aesop doesn't need it. Aesop jumps across with skill and determination.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't think it
26.
stacks, but I don't think there would be anything against you just being like, okay, we all need to do a group thing, so here's
Yeah,
to each of you.
Save your inspiration for sure.
Yeah, I'll say you
sounds
can
good
save
too.
that if you'd like. Aesop, you kind of easily hop across.
Ho.
About halfway, you hear Noki say, "Should I just maybe wait here?"
Oh.
Aw.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
oh, I guess you can wait there with Clatter.
Yes, stay near Clatter. He'll protect you.
Yes.
Okay, kid, do.
Inoki kind of looks up at Clatter. Clatter just keeps staring off towards you, Glace.
Glace. Clatter, make sure nothing happens to you or Inoki. That means fight anything that comes near you.
You see Clatter sort of drop a hand and slowly push Inoki back and just stand in front of him.
That's awesome.
You hear
Unless it's
Inoki
Adel.
from behind.
Thank you.
Similarly, Aesop, you finish your trek across. Bits of small pebble sort of release themselves as you kind of make the final pillar shift, but you're pretty dexterous in your jump through, and so you kind of land on the other side. This open cavernous room is similar to the other one, somewhat dome-shaped. However, as Jura pointed out to Nvidi, there is what looks to be another bit of stairwork leading down, descending. However, sort of making the almost framing this cavernous doorway, it looks to be almost like maybe vine work. It's sort of like a darkish green, and as you kind of each take a look at it, it almost pulsates.
Hey, Nvidi, would it be possible? I'm gonna take my earpiece off and like hand it out to Jira to maybe have Jira give this to Inoki.
Yeah, he could do that.
Okay, wonderful.
Then I'd rather, cause just in case we needed to contact them to tell them something. That
Okay.
way we can do that.
Jira kind of takes the earpiece in his mouth, kind of gently biting down, not to damage it, and you watch as he just sort of levitates across the pillars easily and drops off and drops the earpiece and kind of nudges it with his nose towards Inoki. You hear Inoki,
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure where my ears are.
Or just hold it then.
He'll
Hello?
Oh,
Hello,
we can hear
Inoki.
you.
There we go. Yes, who's there?
Oh no.
Oh,
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Have you awakened the hero yet?
Not yet.
All right.
We're going. Let's go.
I gotta try to jump across too. I'm gonna use my inspiration card that I've been holding on to for weeks because it's too
shit,
good.
that's right. Nvidi still has a jump. Okay.
Because I wanted to nuke something with that extra DC, but I'm just gonna use the advantage on next D20.
All right.
I'm rolling acrobatics here.
This is an acrobatics check. Yep, you gotta be dexterous and kind of jump across these small pillars. There you go. Good rolls, everybody.
Yeah.
You make it across, slightly jealous, as Jira follows along, just sort of listlessly floating through the air.
Doing little barrel rolls.
Yeah. he follows you across, and you kind of make it to the other end. Jira kind of looks up at you, Glace.
Oh, good baby.
Clambers back onto NVD's shoulder.
He's our special boy.
He is. So we see we're in a circular room. Can we go to the edge of the darkness and see if we can like cast light down that way?
Sure. How do you cast a light down the set of stairs that kind of descends?
Rinkaz, can't you point your gun down that way?
I point my gun down that way.
What was that D20 roll, VD?
What was a what now?
That was his advantage roll.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my advantage.
Thank God you put that card then.
Oh, well, that was my second one. I wouldn't have done.
Okay.
But
yeah,
almost
kind of
died.
stepping up, you point your light down the hall, Rinkaz. The kind of stone stairway makes its way down and seems sort of it seems what's the term, unaffected by the strange kind of pulsing vine work that sort of runs itself along the walls. However, you do see that it kind of does encircle the walls here, covering the stonework. It reminds you of vines, but there's just something off about it. Eventually, pointing his light down the stairs, you do see that it levels off, and it's not too far down. Less of a trip than your initial staircase leading you into this kind of tomb to begin with.
Do the vines look like they're breathing or moving?
They just seem to be occasionally expanding and retracting.
Oh,
I don't like it.
that's unsettling. I don't like it either.
Can we throw like a rock or something down that way?
Sure. You kind of just feel along the ground, and it's a cave, so you're easily able to kind of grab a like slightly smaller than fist-sized rock, and with a toss, you want to throw it down the stairs.
I want to like warm it up and like breathe on it and like make it warm before I throw it. Just...
Okay. You take a second to do that, and then with a good toss, watch as it bounces, crackling as you guys hear it sort of hit the stone stairs as it kind of bounces down. You hear it hit the base, seeing it hit the surface down below using Rinkaz's light, and it kind of bounces beyond the sight of the light.
Does this look like some kind of plant we've seen maybe on Vivaria 23 or wherever we went to?
Your knowledge checks are free.
I'm gonna do a knowledge check at disadvantage. What do you know? Both were under 10.
What was the total?
4.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Step aside. I'm no plantologist, but
It could have been Glace, you're just unsure. It's pretty dark down here. And you
Oh my
hate
God,
places
Aesop.
like this.
Aesop, baby. That's a 19 on nature. I want to ascertain if these are perhaps carnivorous plants of some kind.
As you near them, Aesop, intending to see what type of plant family these come from and whether they serve as a danger or not, with that check, you notice as you kind of peer closer that the makeup of these don't seem as though they're made of plants. They look almost like the same sort of chitinous material that make up Sun Kong's armor.
What?
Are they
Interesting.
It's almost like some type of biological vein or something along the wall.
Sun Kong.
I want to touch it.
You touch it. You can feel in your palm it expand and retract. There is a roughness to it that reminds you of your shoulder pads as well as your general armor when you transform into your full bionoid form.
I concentrate. Do you feel that? Roshi?
Yes, some type of structural material probably used by our race.
Maybe, or maybe since if this is a tomb of the elves who created the bionoids, maybe this is like how they got the idea. Maybe this is the origins of the idea of creating the bionoids. They got it from these
That's
plants.
True. Either this, or they created this themselves.
True, could be one or the other.
I'm getting the
Very
sinking feeling that the legendary warrior may play into this to some degree.
I'd be surprised if you were wrong.
We must be close either way, Sun Kong.
Let's keep moving, guys. We've
right.
got to be close.
I want to look at Ukog.
So, wifey, how do you feel about all of this?
It does, as she, seeing that Sun Kong puts a hand up to it, she is now sort of similar to Aesop, peering closely at it. Looks like this could be related to our forms.
And you guys don't feel weird in any way?
I mean, I feel relatively safe compared to what I saw above up there.
Okay.
Sun Kong, why don't you lead the way? It may react to you.
Okay, I'm alright with that.
I'll stay behind you, Sun Kong, Ukong says.
We got this.
The pair, I'm assuming, begin to descend the stairs?
Sure.
Okay. You guys follow along?
Oh, yeah.
You guys descend the stairs. Like I said, it takes a couple seconds to reach the bottom as you descend. You now see a open, relatively large cavern room. There are a number of pillars situated around, and a very interesting, again, it almost looks as though a facsimile of plant work from a distance, but as you close in, almost has a organical nature to it that reminds you more of the bionoid than it does actual plant work. Situated in the center of this open sort of dome-like cavernous room, there is a stepping stone area that leads up to a raised, looks like maybe room or something that is almost crafted in this circular bioorganical material. There seems to be some sort of, what you would assume, at the very least, like a door at the front.
Sun Kong, do you think it's okay if I take a sample of these plants?
I mean, if you can try. If it's anything like my armor, it's gonna be hard to remove, I would think, to get a sample.
Jason, I want to try to get a sample of it.
Sure. Make a strength check as you try to go take a sample. You realize it's much tougher than what you initially assumed.
All right, Aesop. Don't fucking let me down now.
One.
It's a 9.
You tug pretty hard at even a smaller sort of piece of like bio vine work, and tug hard. It almost resists your pull in a strange way and kind of snaps back to the surface of the stonework.
Fine. Wreck, get a close-up. I want to study this later.
The floating wreck kind of follows your pointing and kind of just you watch as the light, it's not light enough to cast light, but you can see that there's a bit of a glow in kind of the viewfinder up front as it zooms in on the bioorganical vine work that kind of makes up the area that you're looking at here.
I want to take out the crystal communicator just to make sure we're not in the weird.
You pull it out. It is not glowing any particular color.
Hey.
Oh. I feel so much better about being down here now. So, what is this thing over here where it looks like there's a door?
A raised platform in the center of the stone room, built atop it, some type of either holding area or a very small room, made from this organical material. Looks to be like some type of about, like humanoid size tall door, sort of like bio vine kind of making up the side, almost as if a handle to pull.
Ooh, Sun Kong. Maybe this is for, your type?
I wish there was a way to. Okay. I'm just gonna experiment, because why not? I'm gonna try just to get my bionoid armor just over my hand, so I don't have another point of exhaustion by completely transforming. I'm gonna concentrate and see if I can pull that off.
Well, what are you intending to do after you do that? Like, why would you do that?
So maybe since it is similar, I can grab the handle as a bionoid. Maybe like it'll, I don't know, recognize me or something.
You concentrate and hear Roshi in your mind. Sun Kong, this area is too safe.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab it without the...
Or at least what we perceive is...
Yeah. Yeah.
You grab it with a monkey palm.
Does it, like, pull or twist, or what kind of...
You give it a pull and hear sort of a squelching noise as the organical door opens. Inside, you see a very small, almost like closeted, hollow area made from this biomaterial. In the center seems to be a raised stand. Inset into the raised stand, which is sitting at about sort of chest level, seems to be an indention made in a square-like pattern. Not a pattern, but just like a square-like indention, as if something could be seated inside.
Music box.
Put it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Wait. Before we do that, I don't know. Isn't this... He might be disoriented if we're awakening him. What if he attacks us?
I mean, what choice do we have otherwise?
I don't know.
I mean, we can always try to calm him down. I'll make sure I'll use my womanly charm on him. It'll be fine.
Oh Lord.
What? Hey, all right. So what's the over/under? You guys thinking that this thing is a bionoid?
I mean, everything else in here seems pretty bionoidy.
Should I transform? Maybe he would be calmed by seeing someone of similar.
Or he takes it as a challenge.
Maybe let's wait and just see.
Alright, I can always transform after.
Aesop stands about 50 feet back with Rek.
I'll put the box right by Sun Kong so I can put my womanly charm on this hero.
Is everyone ready?
Rinkaz, as you watch, bits of small dust and debris kind of fall onto your shoulder, and you kind of have to brush it off.
I ready my pistol to calm ally, control ally. What the hell was that spell?
Charm person.
Emotions? Oh, charm person.
Charm person.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Glacé goes to do it, but then he looks and sees a giant lizard man. Oh, but look at that! Instead of womanly charm, it's a giant scaly boy.
Scaly boy. Scaly boy. Alright.
Sun Kong, you place the music box inside of this sort of like kind of seated kind of platform here.
Yes.
This little pedestal.
Yes.
You fit it inside. There are grooves inside here now that you kind of push it in that sort of like equal out the pattern groove work on the outside of the box, and it almost kind of clicks in. The light on the front of the box, that orb that looks similar to your bionoid eye, begins to faintly glow.
That's good.
Do I feel anything? Does it? What's happening?
You look around. Nothing else seems to be happening.
I don't know, guys. Well, now I guess. Oh, well, so it's sitting in there. I'm gonna open the lid of the music box.
You kind of place a hand on top where the box separates for the kind of lid and go to pull, but it does not budge.
Well, Say starts playing her song from before.
Okay, make me another performance check.
I gotta kiss my dice this thing. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, well, that's 16.
That's good.
I rolled a
Oh my
5.
god.
16's great.
Yeah, really. Glace continues her enthralling elvish song. And as she does, Sun Kong, you kind of being the closest, you notice the what you're assuming a bionoid eye on the box itself begins to light brighter and brighter.
Keep going, Glace. Something's happening.
Glace dances around.
Glace, you continue dancing around, trying to make best use of the rock and rubble around here to do a little bit of a kind of dancing and toppling over. And the light on the front of the orb flashes. The top of the music box throws itself open, and a swirl of arcane energy shoots out from the box past you, Sun Kong, and sort of in the center of the room itself. It begins to coalesce into a humanoid form and kneeling position and materializes. You see before you kneeling a elvish looking man, relatively young, who has greenish garb adorned across his body. He has green dreadlocks that sort of run along the back of his head and onto his back. And similar to your own Sun Kong, in certain areas there is a bit of kind of chitinous armor that covers his body.
Tyrion. Sun Kong.
Okay. Tyrion?
Hearing his name, he raises his head and seems to look around, a bit confused for those of you who can see. Where am I?
We are, well, not to sound too morbid, but I think we're in your tomb. My name is Sun Kong. We've come here seeking your help.
What do you mean?
Well, we assume that you are the hero of legend to fight off a great monster, great terror that ravaged this land.
As he hears this, he reaches towards his back and brandishes what looks to be a wicked-looking mix between an axe and, at the opposite end, like a stave, a sharp-pointed steel end.
Oh.
The creature. I sealed it. Why have you awakened me?
It has, well, is in the process of returning. We believe above us on the ground. It half of what we believe is the creature of legend has returned, and we fear it will be back in full soon, and we need to be able to stop it.
No. You shouldn't have awoken me, he says. My brother, where's my brother?
Your brother?
Is he safe?
I do not I didn't know you had a brother, sir.
Honey, what was his name?
My brother's name. You haven't seen him.
I don't believe there's no one else here.
Lenosha.
Oh, never
You've
mind.
never heard the name.
Lenosha, anyone? I don't...
I want to whisper back to Aedelwulf. Do you know of a Lenosha there, Aedelwulf?
Aedelwulf speaks through all of your headsets. Have you awoken the legendary hero? Of course, only you guys can hear this, though.
It seems that way.
Good. I've heard of this name Lenosha. I believe it to be the brother of the legendary hero.
I see. Any news of where he might be? He's asking for him.
Together they helped to trap the creature initially.
Oh no. Excuse me, Mr. What was his name again?
Tarian?
Tarian. Is he speaking common, by the way? I guess
He is speaking Elvish.
Oh, I can't be talking to... I don't speak Elvish.
Actually, no. I'm
Okay.
seeing a number of people. So we'll say that. Initially speaking Elvish, Gloss, as you begin to translate, he switches to common, seeing that some of you don't speak it.
All right.
Awesome.
When you sealed this great beast, you did so with your brother, correct?
You should have never awakened me, he says.
But why?
Me and my brother, we trapped the beast all those years ago. The wizards of the Armada, they put a powerful spell on my weapon. I used the song of both me and my brother to entrance the beast, and using the powerful spell put on my blade, rended the creature in half, and sealed the two within ourselves.
Oh.
If what you say is true, and one half is freed above, a terrible fate has happened to him. We must head to the surface. I must find Lenosha. Why did you come here? Why did you awaken me?
We thought you could help us reseal him.
We were told by a man named Aedelwulf that you could help us.
That's right.
Oh, fucking, I knew it. I knew it was bad news.
Damn it.
Yes, you have awoken the other half.
This?
I could not
Swear
have
to God,
completed this without your help.
Oh,
The
this
bitch.
If you're looking for the brother of Tarian, you should come back to the surface, though I would make haste. The creature is approaching.
Oh my god, let's go.
Hurry.
As we're running, I want to ask Aedelwulf why he would do this. No, like if he knew all of this, why he would do this.
He's a bitch.
Silly girl. The patrollers have weapons of their own. We've heard of such things. Why not go after the legends and try to control something that they don't have their hands on yet? A beast of pure chaos.
I laugh in the headset at him and say, "You think a terrasque is going to stop what they have? Pfft, good luck, buddy. If we get out of here, you're next. I'm going to feed you to that thing myself."
If you can make it to the surface, you can try.
If I can make it, I'm going to bomb your ass when I get out of here.
Linkaz is the fucking best, dude.
Who are you talking to? Tyrion says as he follows along with you guys.
That cockroach, double two-faced scum, Aedelwulf, who tricked us into waking you up. He was
So there's a man who tricked you to release me. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
You want to whoop his ass too? You can come whoop his ass. I'll help you. I'll hold him down.
No, I just want to know my brother. Did he mention anything about him?
He said that he was up there. Right?
Then
He said
We must make haste.
Yes.
I have a feeling something bad is gonna be waiting for us.
There's already something bad up there, so...
I'm
yes, that sounds likely.
sure that they set defenses in place once they sealed me down here. Oh, what did you people have to get through?
Absolutely nothing.
We didn't fight anything coming down here.
So there was no obstacles in your way to my grave.
It
Not
seems
down.
there were grave robbers that had pillaged the place beforehand. Maybe the defenses had already been tripped?
Damn it. Alright, come on, he says.
There was a hallway full of veins. There was a jumping platform thing. There was a triangular, what'd you call it in PD? It wasn't a portal, it was some kind of...
translocator.
that thing.
As you guys ascend the stairs, he says, yes, what year is it?
Oh, Glacé will give him the current year.
The Twixt current year is a 101.
101, baby!
I'm not familiar with this time. I believe I may have been asleep for some time, though. The ruins seem in a bit of a state of disrepair. Initially, this whole place was a Elvish Armada base. They also keeping their more secretive weapons under wraps. These vineworks, the things that you see here, all of the deeper levels hidden underneath the graveyard area here, that's where they created and controlled the Bionoid armies that they made. We also had powerful weapons that we could have used against the terrasque, but it stomped and terrorized this area. It buried them all underneath, destroyed what we could have used.
Do you think there's still a chance there's something down there that we could use? If we could somehow get down there?
I wouldn't know of a way. Everything collapsed. That was the initial plan. The surviving members of the Bionoid armies, amidst the destruction, you see the creature, we were surprise attacked by the Skrull armies, the orc kind. They launched what appeared to be some type of comet towards our base, the impact alone destroying a massive piece of it, but awakening from the rubble as if held inside like a cocoon was that beast. It awoke and in a rage terrorized the entire area. It decimated it. There is little we could do. We tried to make our way towards the weapons, but the collapsing rubble blocked it off. That was when the remaining wizards, after we had evacuated most of the others, they came up with the plan. Me and my brother, we have powerful magics in our instruments, he says, and he pulls out a interesting looking ocarina that seems almost shaped in somewhat of like a tooth-like shape. Said to come from a magical beast carved. A mighty instrument, but only powered by the magic of the user. Someone potent indeed. I have fought my fair battles myself, but was also an accomplished musician.
Oh.
That's right.
Not as good as my brother, of course. We couldn't defeat the beast. I don't know if you can kill something like that, but we used our instruments to lull it, weaken it into a state where I used the spell put on my weapon to render it asunder in two. It wouldn't have killed it, of course, but at least in that manner, the powerful magics of the wizard sealed it within both my form and my brother's.
I see. Well then, we haven't a moment to lose. If you can still play this song, then there may still be a chance.
Yes, come quickly. We need to descend to the surface. Whomever this man is, if whatever his plans are, this creature is far more formidable than he, I imagine.
Oh, he's in so much trouble.
But if half of it is loose, I worry for my brother's fate. Please come.
He stops as he sees the sort of gap now, as you guys have ascended, seeing the kind of jumping obstacle with the pillars across.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm awfully tired, but, I
Could
guess...
always dimension door across.
True. Well, does anybody else want to come with me?
Maybe you and Sun Kong should go on your own.
Alright.
Since we're both a little exhausted.
Let's go, monkey.
Okay.
I use dimension door to get across.
You open up a... What's it look like when you dimension door?
It looks like, I want this, it looks like a golden jeweled, like, yeah, a golden jeweled door, pretty much, that's all it is, a golden jeweled door.
It
Sparkly.
opens up a swirl of sparkles in the center. You and Sun Kong stepping through. You find yourself stepping on the opposite side. The light from Rinkaz is kind of torchlight attached to his weapon. You can see off in the distance, kind of pointed your way. You hear Inoki.
Hey, you guys made it across. There's some really creepy dude talking through the headphones.
Yeah, there is.
I'll take that back.
Okay, here. I don't want to listen to him anymore. He's creeping me out.
I forgot that I didn't have the earpiece. Just pretend I was yelling through it in VDs.
Okay. Okay.
She's like yelling in VD's ear.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening.
As for the rest of you, how do you make it across?
I think I'm just gonna try to do an acrobatics check again.
Alright.
Yeah, same for me.
Oh my god, Aesop. Fucking monster today.
Get it?
How about a bardic inspo for somebody who doesn't feel like they're up to it?
You can definitely do that as you watch those jump across. Aesop and Rink has already rolled. You guys bound across, making it safely.
How you feeling, magical boy?
I'll always take all the help I can get.
No. I'll help you anytime. 1d8.
Okay.
Oh. Oh!
Yeah.
Remember when NVIDIA was alive?
Magic boy!
Oh no.
In VD, you go to jump and just barely miscalculate where your sole of your foot should land. It misses, and you find yourself quickly falling into darkness.
Oh. Can I polymorph him into a fly? Or a bird? I polymorph him into a bird. Can I do that?
Read me the description of the spell.
Woo! This spell transforms a creature with at least one hit point that you can see within range into a new form. An unwilling creature must make a wisdom saving throw to avoid the effect. A shape changer automatically succeeds on this saving throw. The transformation lasts for the duration or until the target drops 0 hit points or dies. The new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target's or the target's level if it doesn't have a challenge rating.
NVD, give me a high or low d20 roll. Call it and then make the roll.
I'm gonna go with low. Of course.
Because of the speed that you're falling, you're not able to see that Glace is seemingly casting a beneficial spell your way. Thus, it would require you to beat for him to beat I guess to not beat the DC
16
to be able to be transformed. Since I wouldn't naturally assume you'd want to be transformed.
So I have to roll under a 16.
Yeah.
In this instance, you want to fail, yes. You didn't see that Glace was casting this at Glace, you point a finger, but not able to see that you're trying to help out. It seems as though the strong arcane willpower of Envidi resists as he descends into darkness.
I tried my best.
Thanks for trying.
Don't know what to do.
I don't have anything. I don't have any.
No, me neither.
Jira, save him!
Can I have a reaction to try and help?
What would you do? He's pretty far down, but I'll see if you have any
Throw
ideas.
the rope out with my snake friend, and hopefully he could grapple onto him or bite him and hold him.
How long is that rope?
Luke, how long is that rope?
I mean, that's a great question. You know, it's a. Let me open Kaz's character sheet real quick.
I point my gun at him and I charm him and say, "Don't you fall! You stop falling."
It's a foolproof plan, Rinkaz. You really nailed it.
I'm the best.
All right, let's see. Rope. Constrictor rope. It is 60 feet long.
All right. Rinkaz, you know you can toss this rope out in an effort to have, at the very least, Envidi attempt to catch it and at least maybe have him swing against the wall that you're at. Although you know the distance that he is at, he would certainly take some amount of damage. But it may stop him from falling into whatever is down below. I would just tell you that offhand, if you do transform it into the snake, it would be too far for it to reach.
Okay.
So you could just toss it. You know, you can use sort of like the wound in, and you know, throwing it like a disc, toss it out so that it kind of unravels towards Envidi.
Would that be an acrobatics check?
Give me like a base dexterity roll. With your dex proficiency. This isn't too difficult for you to toss it. However, Envidi is still going to have to try and grab onto it as he descends.
19.
Okay, so yeah, you know it's not difficult. You're just kind of tossing it, straight lining it in his direction. I'm assuming you yell his name to catch his attention. And
Envidi, grab it.
Envidi, you notice a rope kind of coming your way. You get the immediate sensation that even if you grab this, you're going to be swinging pretty hard to the opposite wall, but it will at least catch your fall, provided there may be something terrible below you. So you can make me like a acrobatics check to quickly grab on and get a good hold of the rope as you descend.
That's a 9.
Oh fuck, Envidi,
Oh, never mind.
you miss the rope just
Oh
slightly.
no! And this was the day that Envidi died.
Yeah, it had to happen at some point.
Well, can't Jira do anything?
Jira begins descending, following along with
I want to use.
Envidi, but isn't able to necessarily stop the fall.
I
Yeah,
want to
he's
use.
tiny.
Can I use some kind of healing spell on him, just in like pure hope that it might help him a little bit if he falls hard?
I
on
would say
something?
that you could. However, at this point, he's descended into the darkness itself.
We missed our chance. Envidi!
Envidi, you are falling through darkness. Did you light something that you kept on yourself, Envidi?
I have dark vision, so I did not.
Okay, so you at least see. You notice down below. It's a little bit of a fall. There seems to be some type of what looks like liquid at the surface. It is low enough to where it would have been difficult to see up on the pillars. But you hope that it is thick enough as you land inside of it. There is a gross squelching noise as there is a thick viscous liquid that is not water as you land in it. Just the impact alone, you get 12 points of, I don't know what you would call this. I would guess bludgeoning, because you're kind of like hitting water at a high speed, so that would kind of be bludgeoning. And as you pull yourself up to the surface, the sensation of this liquid, you can hear it hissing and the occasional pop. It burns your skin. You take an additional 12 points of acid damage.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, poison damage.
Okay.
Actually, that should be acid. I'm sorry, my mistake. Acid damage.
Okay.
With your dark vision, though, quickly sort of peeling out whatever this gross viscous fluid is from off of your face quickly, keeping your head above the surface, you do see Rinkaz's rope lap against the side of the surface. You'll have to make a strength check to kind of work your way through to get to the other side.
All right, strength, just off the...
This will be athletics to try and work yourself through the mire, because it's like up to your neck, and you're keeping yourself above it, but it's burning you and making you work extra hard to kind of push yourself through it. It's like a thick muck.
9 for athletics.
You work yourself about halfway through the room using your dark vision to keep an eye on the rope. However, you take another 5 points of acid damage as it stings.
Are you alive?
Alive is a relative term.
Can
Not
you get
really.
I think so.
You can do it.
Okay.
Halfway through, give me another strength athletics to make it to the other side of the room where the rope awaits for you. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
You're able to
21.
quickly push through this bubbling vat down here. It's gross and black and almost tar-like as you push through. Moving at a faster rate than before, though, you only take 3 more points of acid damage. Clasping on with a tight grip to the rope, kind of quickly pushing your hands against the stonework and rubbing off the liquid from your palms so you can get a tight grip. You pull yourself out of the muck so as not to take any more acid damage, but now need to ascend the rope. However, you do know that your friends are on the opposite side and can probably help.
Pull him up! Pull him up!
So you guys kind of latching on to the other end. I will say that gives Nvidi advantage on one final strength athletics check to kind of just like work his feet as he just keeps a tight grip to the rope. It's not hard to do with your friends helping Nvidi, but you are covered in this relatively kind of greasy tar-like substance that kind of burns the skin. So,
Terrasque.
but you do have advantage. Terrasque shit.
17.
All right, and that's just base 17, no pluses.
I have nothing in athletics or strength.
That's fine. You're not able to necessarily sort of like run your hands up further the rope, but you kind of just hold tight and using the bolstering pull of your friends, just work your feet one step up. It takes you guys about 3 or 4 minutes, but you see Nvidi pull himself over the ledge, covered in this gross, just black mire that kind of covers his body.
Disgusting! I take a sample.
I do as well.
Slightly bruised, burn marks covering areas of your skin, Nvidi. You look up to see Aesop and Rinkaz, your friends, running over, and they quickly sort of, using some type of other, either hilt of a weapon or something, are pushing the chemical, whatever this is, into like an open flask or something.
Oh, Glacé will come up and give you kisses for wow. Okay. Sorry, that was just 1d8. So technically, ignore the +5, 8, 9, 10, 11 healing HP.
Jira
That
kind of
helps.
comes over. You see a worried sense in his eyes.
Yeah, I think telepathically he felt that too.
I tell Aesop it'd be a shame if someone were to drink this.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, that's when I find someone I wouldn't suggest drinking it and make them.
Why are you like this?
People have done things to me.
Are you alright? Tyrion says over to you and VD.
I think so. Can I ask back in Elfish, what is that?
A mixture, I'm sure, my people created. It lasts forever. As far as I know, the tale's told that it never stops. It's acidic in nature. You can set it somewhere and it will stay like that. A perfect measure for a place like this, though I feel guilty that you had to see it firsthand, considering you were tricked.
What's the black goo? Let's go.
You're alive. We should get out of here as soon as possible.
Yes, we need to keep going.
Yeah. Can I press the digitation, any of it that's left off of me?
Sure. You guys watch as MVD sort of quickly begins wiping the gross. Or no, you like with a palm open, a flash of light leading from your palm, areas that were covering your armor and skin, sort of just like slowly eke away and vanish.
And as we start walking, can I drink a greater healing potion from my inventory?
Sure. You unpop a cork to a healing potion and
For 12.
Nice.
That's not that bad.
Did you get the 11 from me?
Dead, yeah, thank you. I'm almost back. Only missing 9 hit points.
Okay.
Let's keep running.
Yeah,
you guys get up to the area now where you see you're able to see the teleportation platform that leads back up.
Everybody jump in!
You all jump on with a flash. It leads you to the previous area. Let's see here. You guys don't have to run your characters over the coins of the map here. You guys... let's take those tokens off because those don't matter anymore. You guys been quickly making your way out of the tomb now, by and large avoiding what is left of the troubles that were down below. You guys know you weren't assaulted by anything up on this level, and quickly making your way back around the bend, curling around and going through the coffin area that you initially went through, quickly begin ascending the stairs. As you guys do, a familiar sound that had left you begins to resurface as you hear the sound of trembling rubble and rock. Pieces of rock near the walls as you guys ascend the stairs up the floors kind of fall towards your feet and bounce down the stonework stairs leading below. You can see the moonlight piercing through the open coffin above as you ascend.
Go, 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 go.
Are you all out just yet?
Oh, this fucking guy.
No.
I've left a present at the surface
Oh my god.
for you and your friends.
I found one down here for you too. Why don't you come get it?
He laughs.
I've got 2. They're both gonna be placed gently in your ass.
Ooh, careful with that phrase. You know what? Never mind. It's not the time to worry about that sort of thing. Let's go kill him.
Can we peek out and make sure there's not like a Terrasque waiting for us?
I peek around the corner. Is there a terrasque waiting for me?
Glossy, you're beginning to ascend. Tyrion kind of pushes past you, though.
Oh.
quickly
Fucking
making a
asshole.
beeline towards the surface.
Be careful. I think there's a terrasque out there. Oh.
I mean, if I trusted anyone to deal with it, it would be him.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Well, I think we should help either way.
Of course.
Do you guys ascend with him, or do you want to peer out?
No,
I
yeah.
mean, I'll peer out first.
Glosse wants to peer out. Is everyone else staying kind of inside the stairwell?
I suppose. I imagine it's not very wide, the staircase.
Okay, so you guys are kind of like huddled up in the stairwell. Glosse kind of up front, peering out. You see the vast open image that you kind of see here, Glosse. In the distance, you see standing in front of the massive creature, now some yards away from you, Aedelwulf, and kind of standing before the thrashing half of the creature. No, you hear Tyrion say.
What's happening?
He kneels over and picks up an item and stands up. Lenosha's ocarina.
Oh no.
He looks over, seeing the beast in the distance.
That's right. Of course, I could have just brought upon an immense amount of emotional pain to release this half. But I did the easier thing. I killed the vessel, trapping it within.
Guy's a real dick.
Tyrion clutches the ocarina. No! He says. And you watch Glosse as his form shifts. Similar to Sun Kong, his body is encapsulated with thick chitinous armor.
Oh.
He looks like Sun Kong in bionoid form, except he is covered in a green tint. No! He says, as something bursts forth from his chest. A wisp of energy shoots out from him.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You watch as it begins to shift and quickly dart its way over towards the bottom half of the terrasque. As the bottom half itself thrashes around, its tail swinging, knocking over a huge blast of a nearby plateau. Rocks and rubble begin descending towards you, Glosse. Sun Kong, Ukog, as well as the rest of the group, you feel the entire stonework of the stairwell as you guys are hiding in it shift and shake. Sun Kong and Ukog, you guys towards the back. There is a massive collapse, a rock penetrating in between you and the rest of the group. The stairwell giving way as the whole area begins to shift and shake. You begin to tumble down the stairs, Sun Kong, with Ukog. The rest of you feel like this whole place is going to collapse if you don't escape it right now.
Okay, go, go, go! Everyone out!
Let's go.
But Sun Kong, wait! Aren't Sun Kong and Ukog in trouble?
You say that, but as you look back, there is a huge boulder blocking the way down towards them.
I get out. I run out.
I run. I trust they'll be able to find a way. They're very resourceful.
Sun Kong, you feel the pang of rock and rubble hitting your face. Sun Kong! You hear Ukog yell and reach out. You feel yourself descending now. The stonework below, due to the tremors and quaking of the creature above you, collapsing the whole place, as was warned before. the ground beneath you opening up. You feel yourself descending into darkness.
Nice, good sound effect.
The rest of you exit, finding yourselves at the top of the plateau. You see, fallen at his knees, Tyrion in his bionoid form. In the distance, you see Aedelwulf, 2 hands held up, 1 wand in hand. "You've done well, friends," he yells from the distance.
We're not your friends.
You fell exactly into my hands. I appreciate the help. And you made it out alive, most of you. So you get to watch. Watch as the creature itself makes itself known.
Rek, get all of this. Actually, did Rek get trapped down there too?
No, Rek did not.
Okay, alright.
Hang on.
Can I go over to Tyrion and put my hand on his shoulder? And tell him that he's done it before. We could do this together. Kind of like trying to boost his spirit a little bit.
Sure, make a persuasion check.
My disadvantage was
And what was that?
1.
A 1?
I'm exhausted.
Oh no.
Was it a natural 1?
Yeah, well, I rolled a 1. Yeah, on my second roll I rolled.
Okay, I'm just checking. Tyrion collapsed in bionoid form, holding the ocarina of his brother, just says, "He tricked me. He killed my brother, and then used my anguish to release the other half. We are doomed," he says.
There has to be something. Take it from me, if something lives, you can kill it, right? At least
No.
enter it to a point of hibernation.
He says, "Killing this beast, now without my brother, it is impossible." You guys watch now on the plateau. I will move you to a new ambitious map.
God damn it, it's the end of the session. This is the worst cliffhanger ever!
Ah, shit.
You guys see Aedelwulf up north, staring at the bottom half of the terrasque. Those of you who made it out, stepping onto the plateau, can see now the black vortex that makes up the kind of bisected abdomen area of the terrasque. You now watch as 2 claws pull through. Horns piercing through the dark veil begin to push through. You watch as you now see the top half of the terrasque pull
Daddy,
itself
don't.
out. Sun Kong in the darkness laughing. The vortex separating the 2 halves begins to retract itself towards the abdomen and closes. And now, looking on at the frightful presence, you see the full completed terrasque in the distance. Its massive form covered in scales, dragon-like in appearance but without wings. Its size toppling anything you've seen before save the Witchlight Marauders themselves. The creature with its jaw lined with teeth peers around for the first time in its new setting before looking up and giving a mighty roar.
No.
And that is where we will end this session.
Fucking cuck.
Good luck, guys.
Well, fucking A. It's okay, guys. I got stepped on it once. What's the worst that could happen?
You don't need my help fighting a Trask.
Fighting a Terrasque? We're not fighting this shit. Are you kidding me? Get out of town.
So I hope you guys had fun as usual.
My name's Jason.
My
His name is Daddy.
That's fucked up. I'm never gonna trust any old man ever again.
right.
This was the perfect thing to lead into after Sarah left because the one skeptical person was totally not there to figure it out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had free reign to just trick you guys as much as...
I was like, oh, Glossy's making insight checks, so I'm sure it's fine.
Glossy, the one with disadvantage on all the rolls.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was also that difficult thing of like the DC was a little tougher only because yes, he did want you guys to descend and awaken the hero, just not for the reasons you guys initially thought. So yes, there is a massive terrasque and no ship nearby to save you.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Also, Sun Kong and Ukog have been cut off from you. Sun Kong, you falling into darkness. Where it goes, we'll have to find out next session.
Of anybody who could not be here, Sun Kong might be the one that might be safest not to, because he would become a snack.
Thank you guys for watching. This is when I'll give some shout outs since we kind of want to save them to the end so we don't we give you guys straight D&D through the 4 or so hours here. This was a little shorter than usual, but we'll be back next week to our normal time. Thank you. Some of these may be robots as usual. Thank you, Avocado Badado. Thank you, Electric Longboard, Land Fusion, Positivity Bot. Interesting.
Bot.
Or, as I like to call him, Positivity Bot.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, you guys earn points as you watch. You can read all those details on our Twitch page down below. You can use them to buy cool stuff if you'll take a look at those. Inspiration points for the party, weird bits for the party to help them buy cool things, or you guys have never done it before, but always keep in mind, you can exchange weird bits for extra gold if you'd like.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So just keep that in mind if you're ever like, I want something, I'm just short a little gold, that you can exchange weird bits for it. Yeah, all kinds of other cool stuff. Take a look at that. If you miss any of these episodes, they're all on our YouTube page at GAWDMODE. You can just punch that in. Or I think if you just punch in Weird and Wild the way it's spelled on our Twitch page here, it should pull up those episodes. So thank you for watching. Thank you guys for playing. We will be back here next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.